Good morning, y'all. It is Wednesday. We have made it to hump day. We are in the middle of the week. Two down, two more to go. We have made it to Wednesday. Today, let's see. We always check our weather in the morning. Okay. All right. We got sunshine today. We got sunshine today. So, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be hot. I'm pretty sure it is. But that's okay though, because as always, if it's hot wherever you are and you're in the sun, make sure you put on that sunscreen. Make sure you put on them hats. Make sure you put on them shades. Protect that skin wherever you are this morning. As always, we start off with our deep breathing every morning. We're going to inhale. We're going to take a deep breath and hold it for 10 seconds if you can. If you cannot, it is okay. We're going to exhale. And when we exhale slowly so that you are exhaling all of the toxins, all of the negativity. We are exhaling yesterday because it is gone and there's nothing we can do about it. We're going to focus on today and the now. And we're not going to worry about tomorrow because it's not here yet and it will take care of itself. So if you can, take a deep breath with me and inhale. And hold for 10 seconds. And exhale. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today just thanking you for the sunshine, Lord. We thank you for you being you. We thank you for the blessings that you have done in our lives, Lord, the blessings you are doing now and the blessings that you are continuing to do and the blessings you will do in the future. I ask that you would just continue to place your hedge of protection around those under the sound of my voice. Protect them, Lord, from the top of their heads to the soles of their feet. Touch and bless every endeavor that they are embarking upon, dear Heavenly Father. We just thank you for the minor things. We thank you for the food on our tables, the clothes on our backs, Lord. And we thank you for the roof over our heads, to Heavenly Father. We just want to give thanks and ask these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Good morning, Marjorie. How are you this morning? I seen your post with the birthday girl. I seen you this morning. I definitely want to send a shout out. Good morning, Alma. Good morning, Karen. Good morning. Yes, honey. Yes. Today is Neela's birthday. Good morning, Joan. How are you? And although Neela is not with us this morning, it is her birthday. So I would love to send Neela a shout out for her birthday. And only for Neela am I going to sing happy birthday to her, even though she's not here. So, yes, I want her to know that she is loved, she is appreciated. I know that she has to work. I know she has her trainings that are like just absolutely crazy. But we just want her to know how much we love her, how much we appreciate her, and that we want her to have the most awesomest birthday. So I'm hoping she can pop in for a few minutes. This is her birthday. But if not, it's okay. Hopefully she can watch back and see that we sending all those hearts, sending all that love to Neela this morning for her birthday. So, ma'am, Miss Neela, happy birthday, honey, and enjoy your day. May your day be full of beautiful blessings and joy and sunshine. May today be one of the best days you have had thus far. So, today, we are talking about Juneteenth. It is approaching. It will be here on Saturday. And it's not, I won't say it's fairly new, but it's fairly new to some people. The fact that we are now that Juneteenth is actually a national holiday. We finally got our 4th of July. Good morning, Yvette. Good morning, Dad. How are you this morning? Absolutely. Karen says, good morning, Neela. Enjoy your day. Yvette says, happy birthday, Neela. Much love. Have a blast and get that bread at the same damn time. Come on, Yvette. Yes, honey. Come on now. Yes. Alma says, happy birthday, Neela. We are absolutely sending you love today, honey. Absolutely. So, many people don't exactly know what Juneteenth is. And now that we have our national 4th of July, our Independence Day, I thought I would take the time out for us to discuss it today because people don't because with it being so fairly new as a national holiday, a lot of people don't really know or understand what Juneteenth is. And so I pulled it up. So that way you won't think I'm just pulling it out of thin air, jam. So it says that even though now we did have the Emancipation Proclamation, okay? So please understand that I'm not discrediting any other history. But what I'm saying is Juneteenth is, it says freedom finally came on June 19th, 1865, when some 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. The Army announced that the more than 250,000 enslaved Black people in the state were free by executive decree. This day came to be known as Juneteenth by the newly freed people in Texas. So yes, it is our Independence Day, because although we had the Emancipation Proclamation, a lot of slaves did not know they were free, because a lot of slave owners wasn't trying to tell them. Okay, point blank period. They were still trying to get that free labor. Okay, they were trying to hold on to that last little grip that they had. I mean, they were squeezing it and holding on tight to it. So the slaves did not know, in fact, that they were free. And even though it says only through the 13th Amendment did emancipation end slavery throughout the United States. The 13th Amendment is, to some, very controversial. And to me, I feel as if, although we have the 13th Amendment, I feel like it's not something that needs to be voted on every 100 years. It needs to be something that is set in stone, because we don't vote on the other amendments. I'm just saying. It's not like every 100 years we vote on all the amendments, whether or not we want to keep them, or whether or not we want to amend them, or whether or not we want to throw them out. So it is something I feel that needs to be reworded to be made permanent, so that it's not something that has to be voted on every 100 years. Because let me tell you, God forbid, it had to been a year that Donald Trump had to vote on it. Okay, like I don't know where we would be or what we would be doing right now. Good morning, Debbie. How are you this morning? Sapphire says, happy birthday, Neila. Knock the whole bottom out your Gemini month. Come on, Sapphire. Karen says the happiest of birthdays, Neila. And Debbie says, happy birthday, Neila Adams. Absolutely. We are going to be sending love to her. Feel free to type your birthday messages in the comment and everything, because I'm going to make absolutely sure that she sees these birthday messages, that she sees the love that we are sending, because we absolutely love her and appreciate her and we adore her for her birthday. Yes, come on now. So now that we have our national holiday of Juneteenth, the question is, how do we properly celebrate it? Because I know on 4th of July, we go out and we shoot guns and pop guns off. We pop fireworks. So now that we have a national holiday of Juneteenth, how do we properly celebrate it? And how do we make sure that as a national holiday, that we educate our children about it? Because there's no guarantee that this is going to go in the history books, even though now they don't use history books. But still, it's just a matter of how do we properly celebrate the struggles and the trials that our ancestors went to get to this point. And I see a lot of, I've been seeing a lot of different Juneteenth celebrations, a lot of different things. A lot of places, a lot of different schools are having events at their actual schools. A lot of places are doing carnivals and things like that. But how are we nationally celebrate it like we do 4th of July? Like, what becomes our national staple now that we have this nationally as a holiday? Like, do we request that now for the 4th of July, like the 4th of July, do we request days off? Do we want to make sure that whatever we're doing when it comes to celebrating this Juneteenth holiday that we have now, our Independence Day, that we are honoring our ancestors as well as celebrating. We want to make sure that in what we're doing is not, I don't want to say a defamation or a slap in the face, but we want to make sure that we are respectful in our honoring. Not too thrilled about the popping of the guns and stuff because it's not safe. Okay, it's not safe. Absolutely, it's not. But I would just like to see us do something on a global scale where we have more parades and we do things like that, where we can get to a point where what type of floats will we create? What type of national events could we create? It would be nice to see Washington celebrate this with the flag flying. It would be nice to see that for Juneteenth. We have to make sure that in educating our children, that we make sure that they understand why this is so important, why it was so important for us to get Juneteenth as a national holiday. Because 4th of July really isn't our Independence Day. It's really not. Because unfortunately, although we live in a country where we have so many freedoms, it's a lot of people that are not necessarily free. And I see a lot of quotes that says, until we're all free, nobody's free. And I think that with everything that has been going on lately, with a lot of the demonstrations that have been going on, a lot of the unnecessary and unfortunate deaths that we have been having across the country lately, that I think that being able to celebrate this year as a national holiday for Juneteenth, I think that we can really use some good times. We could really use some good times. You know what I mean? We just need to find something to get us out of this. It's not necessarily a slump. Don't get me wrong. It's not necessarily a slump, but we need to find something that, we have so much going on in June. We have so much going on in June. We got the Men's Health Month. We have Pride Month. We have Juneteenth. Tony says, let's educate people on what we have done as a people. Absolutely. Jones says, FYI, Mississippi rejected December 5th, 1865 certification of the 13th Amendment, only to finally certify the amendment February. Pop that. Shame on Mississippi. Absolutely. Keeping slavery on the books until this information was discovered by accident. Child, these folks are serious about free labor. Vote your own interest. Let me tell you something. You have to watch these states down south. Because when I say these states down south that are predominantly Black, unfortunately, the representation does not represent the people. So you have places like Mississippi that feel, well, we'll keep it on the back burner until then. Like, that's not cool. That is absolutely not cool. And the state of Mississippi in itself should be ashamed of itself. They should be ashamed. The congressmen, the statesmen, they should be ashamed of themselves for not voting for human rights. There is no way that we are in 2021 and we still have states that feel slavery is okay. We have got to, when it comes to, a lot of people feel that, oh, well, I don't do politics and all politicians are liars. Here's the thing. You have to get involved. You have to light a fire under your statesman's ass, your representatives, your aldermans. They represent you. When it comes down to these Senate meetings, when it comes down to the House of Representatives, keyword is representative. They are supposed to be representative of what their people want, not their own interest. You cannot have people in power that are supposed to stand up for you and stand up for your rights and push their own agenda when it comes to things like this. This is not something that should be voted on as to whether or not we want to keep slavery on the books, as to whether or not we want to just hold off on it for a little bit, or maybe we should. No, at the end of the day, they need to vote for human rights, vote for equality across the board. We have so many divisions within not just our country, but even within the cultural and the social. We have we have high class, low class, middle class. Like, who created those? Then we have the differences between women's pay, men's pay. Then we have it's very much a divisional country. People get paid on this division. They get paid on this division. And until we make sure that the people that we are putting in place are the people who are representing us, nothing is going to change. And we're going to keep seeing things like what happened in Mississippi. And that was in 2013. Jones says February 7, 2013, blacks were certified freed in the state of Mississippi. 2013. Mississippi, y'all gonna have to do better. You all are absolutely gonna have to do better. Like, if I could put a wall of shame, Mississippi would be in the middle. But it's like that in a lot of southern states. And it's unfortunate that people are not able to. And a lot of them are older. A lot of them, unfortunately, are illiterate. So a lot of them can't read. They don't post things that are happening. So they get away with a lot of this stuff. They get away with it because so many of us feel that politics aren't for us. We don't want to get involved. What does it matter? Our voices don't matter. Our voices matter. When our voices come together, they can be so magnificent and so powerful. When I tell you the harmonies of our voice can truly make an indent and make a boom, I'm trying to tell you. Jones says the federal government allowed it to slip through the cracks. Absolutely. You thought they was going to be like, hey, hold on a minute. We forgot something. No. Free labor. Come on now. If they can go back to the days of free labor, hell, they got a whole country built off our backs. They literally got a whole country built off our backs for free. You think they wouldn't mind going back to that? Not having to pay folks to do all the jobs that they doing? That's absolutely crazy to think that they wouldn't. And when it comes to, I know that we have Black History Month in February, but we shouldn't wait only for February to teach our children about Black History Month. And when we teach our kids about Black history, we need to make sure that we're not just teaching about Eli Whitney. We're not teaching just about Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. We need to teach our kids about people like Mae Jemison, the first Black astronaut, female astronaut. Like, we need to teach our kids about Bessie Smith. We need to teach our kids about others instead of what they consider the normal few. I mean, I get it that our kids absolutely need to understand who Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were. But there are so many others. There are so many others. Most children don't even realize that the toilet was created by a Black person. The stoplight was created by a Black person. Like, our children need to know these things. And if we can teach our children the history, the rich history in which we have, we can instill that self-confidence and let them know that these people kept going, that these people were innovators. These people were inventors. And anything that they put their mind to, that they can do it. We have some genius kids right now that are developing apps for computers, apps for phones, and things like that. We've got to push our children for excellence. That's what we've got to push our kids towards. Jones says, thank God the discovery was made on Barack Obama's watch. God is good. Absolutely. Because could you imagine, like I said, if they had to vote on the 13th Amendment while Trump was in office? I don't even want to think about what life would be like if that had to be voted on during his particular time that he was in office. Like, the stuff that we would have lost. I mean, the freedoms we would have lost. Like, just simply being able to walk out your house when you want to. I mean, it was already crazy enough. Honey says some states have laws that are out of date now. Absolutely, especially in the South. They have a lot of laws that are outdated. And some of them unfortunately, have like Jim Crow laws still on their books, but they overlook them. Those things should not still be on the books in 2021. Joan says, my top trailblazer for human rights for all Americans, my Black queen, Fannie Lou Hamer. You know, it would be nice to see if every week, we have 52 weeks in a year. Instead of waiting until February to post our Black History post and about different inventors, it would be nice to see if we created something where every week, not just the kids, but even adults learned about someone different every week, just one person a week. Some of these kids nowadays don't even know who Maya Angelou was. They don't know who she was. They only know she was a character in a Tyler Perry movie. They don't know the history of Still I Rise or Phenomenal Woman. They don't know that because that is not stuff that is taught in a lot of schools. A lot of these kids don't know who Sarah Vaughan is. We have to do better about educating not just the kids, but educating ourselves. Take the time sometimes to just simply read, just read up on something. Like, you want to know who invented the TV? Look it up. We all use them. We all using all this electronics. Let's start looking up who created some of this stuff, or pull up a list of Black inventors. Pull up a list of Black creators, because it was actually a Black man that invented the light bulb. I'm just saying. It wasn't Benjamin Franklin. But kids don't know that. We need to teach our kids that these things that they're using every day is because of a Black mind came up with it. A Black mind created it. Everything we use, just about, came from a Black mind. So we have to make sure that one of my kids, I tell you, kids, we have to keep in mind that learning is something that, see you later, Joan. Have a good day, sweetheart. Mwah. Sending love to you as well. We have to make sure that we learn something every day. You're never too old to learn. Never. Okay. And in learning something, we're able to teach someone else. Because as our kids' first teachers, we need to educate ourselves. Remember the little books they used to give out? They were they were real thin. And they used to be, you could buy them like in different bookstores. And they used to keep them in the libraries. It would have the different books of, it was like female Black inventors, female aviators, Black male inventors, Black female inventors. Like, it was literally a whole series. Like, all of the books combined were probably about that thick. They were really thin books, but each book gave you a category of African Americans and what they either created or what they started or what they invented or who they were simply. And they even had sessions they had books on Black musicians like Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan. They had so many in there, and Mahalia Jackson. They even had Aretha Franklin in there. It was to teach. It was when I was growing up, we used to have to do Black history projects. And oh my goodness, when I say it was the same 5 people every year, like, oh, nowadays kids don't have to do Black history projects and things like that, or they do like some simple. When it comes to February, they might have a blackboard. You know, they used to have the blackboards in the hallway. Now they don't really have those anymore. They used to have the blackboards where they would just have pictures of, it would be Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, it would be Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, and those would be the 4 people that you would see on the wall every year, every February. It'd be the same information with the same red, black, and green borders across the wall with a little splash of yellow. Like every year it will be the same thing, instead of us taking the time out to pick somebody new each year. After a while, we need to teach our kids about something other than the Underground Railroad. And that's not the only history that we have. We have so many movies out now. Even we have the Harriet movie. We have shows like The Underground. We have a lot of different movies out now that depict a lot of our history. But we collectively need to do better about researching and teaching our children the various things and the various people. Um, Growing up, I was fortunate enough when I got to high school, when we had our little month of February. I was fortunate enough to be able to write about my grandmother. My grandmother was the first Black superintendent of schools in Joliet. To me, I was ecstatic because I was like, oh, my family is part of history, honey. Come on now, let's put it in the history books. But those are the things that you don't hear about. You don't hear about the accomplishments that we make in areas of medicine. You don't hear about the accomplishments that we make in education. We don't hear about those type of things. It's like it gets glazed over or just glanced over. Look at Ben Carson. Now, we have known him for heart surgery, but now, when it came to the Trump administration, it kind of overshadowed his history a little bit. Look at Colin Powell. Regardless of how you feel about him, he's still a part of history. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you this morning? Like, he's still a part of history, regardless of how you feel about him and his choices that he's made. And now, one of our greatest moments in history is we get to add President Barack Obama in the history books that we have lived. And some of our ancestors, I won't say ancestors, but our elders have lived to see the first Black president. And now we get to see the first Black female vice president. These are historical moments that we need to take in. We need to embrace these moments. We need to talk about these moments. We need to celebrate these moments. These are the type of things that when it comes to Juneteenth, these are the type of things that we need to celebrate. We need to celebrate people who are not ordinarily celebrated. Celebrate the people that most people wouldn't consider big things. When we start talking about first, what about the first Black anchor on TV? What about the first Black news person? The first Black weather person? Like, these are some of the things that we should be celebrating in Juneteenth, because regardless of when it was done, it was done. And by people being the first, they open doors for others to come behind them. And those are the ones we need to celebrate, these trailblazers of today as well as yesterday. I love seeing, when I go out, seeing bags of First Lady Michelle Obama and President Barack Obama. When we get to see them out, or we see the bags that they've created, the purses and the shirts and all kind of memorabilia that they've created from their era. What I mostly take away from the era that we had with President Obama was the legacy that he created, the legacy that First Lady Michelle created when it came to education and the health of our children. They took that very seriously. People were honored, like Cicely Tyson. She was a trailblazer. Cicely Tyson was an amazing actress, but she went through some things to get to where she was. And the fact that President Obama celebrated her was an amazing thing. It's awesome to see that now we have in the works a museum. We're literally getting our own historical museum. It's still in the works of them building it. I've seen the plans that they laid out at the last, actually they partnership with McDonald's, and they showed us the plans. They showed us the building. It is going to be an amazing thing. It is a African-American gospel museum that shows the legacy of Black gospel music throughout the time. I think that's an amazing thing. And even now that we have the Smithsonian, We have our own building for the Smithsonian. Like, we actually get to see our legacy, the Black legacy and the history other than just slavery, because we are so much more than just the history of slavery. We are so much more, and that's what we have. I don't want to say get away from, but we need to celebrate more often. Celebrate the triumphs that we made since then. We may not necessarily be where we want to be as a people, but we are not where we used to be. And that is due to harmony of people coming together and not looking at the division in which they've tried to create of light skin versus dark skin and the brown paper bag test. They used to have a test. If you didn't pass, if you were lighter than the paper bag, you could pass. If you were darker than a brown paper bag, or you were the same color as the paper bag, you didn't pass. That's the type of mentality that we have to get away from. Look, we need to start looking at each other as people and stop allowing the level of our melanin to matter. It doesn't matter. We just need to look at people as people. Because let me tell you, if you were blind or had a blindfold on, you wouldn't be able to tell that person's color. If you had a blindfold on, if you was blind, you wouldn't be able to, because our skin doesn't feel any different. Our voices do not project color. They just project sound. And until we start taking those tinted glasses off of seeing people for the outward appearance and start looking at people for the inward appearance, we won't get anywhere as a collective. And that's what we need to do in order to be able to push closer to where we want to be. We have to come together. And so for Juneteenth, it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see how they do the specials on TV for 4th of July, where they do the big fireworks show and they do all this, and it would be nice to see something on TV. It would really be nice to see a special where we talk about the different accomplishments that we've made individually and collectively. It would be nice to see the progression that we've made from not just starting at slavery, but starting all the way in Africa. Start looking at the entire progression of where we are now and what it took to get here, and what happened to celebrate the triumphs that along the way that we were able to come about. It's not something that a lot of people have conversations about. And sometimes it can be an uncomfortable conversation to have with friends that are different races. But we've got to have those conversations too. We can't say that people don't understand what we've been through or understand us as a people if we're not trying to educate them on what it is that we have been through as a people. Antoinette, hi Antoinette, how are you? Antoinette says our job is recognizing Juneteenth as a national holiday now. It actually is a national holiday. It was voted upon, and it is a national holiday now. And so that's why we're talking about how do we celebrate it properly as a national holiday? Like how do we celebrate it and honor our ancestors and honor the journey that we've taken to now? And how do we celebrate the triumphs along the way? How do we get to a point where we start seeing things and it's normalized that you see on TV because now I see all the shirts and the hats and the masks and everything that we're making for Juneteenth. And it's nice to see. Good morning, Sam. Good morning. How are you? Tell Bobby we send our love. How do we, even though we're making the mask and the shirts and the earrings and things like that, how do we educate others on Juneteenth and why Juneteenth is so important? Because a lot of people don't understand why we need Juneteenth when we have July 4th. So I think not only I think our job is at this point is to educate about Juneteenth. And letting people know that although we had the Emancipation Proclamation, it wasn't an instant moment where it was signed and then all of a sudden now everybody's free. It wasn't that instant. And so Juneteenth is important because that was the moment in which 250,000 slaves realized and were told that they were free. So we need to do our job in educating people as to why this holiday, this national holiday, is important, because it is. It is absolutely important. I think it is necessary. I'm happy to see that it has made it to national status. Um, but we need to do our jobs. Each and every one of us have a part to play and a role to play. Um, and we need to do a better job of respecting our past and respecting our history. And I say that because when Martin Luther King Jr. Day came around, I saw some of the most disrespectful flyers I have ever seen in my life. Someone had turned Martin Luther King Jr. into 50 Cent. And they had him with the fingers up, the gold chains, and I was like, how disrespectful can you be? So we still need to be respectful of our history and of people who have gone before us to open doors for us, and not I'm trying to find the right words, and not turn them into caricatures. Not characters, but caricatures, where we start putting gold chains on Malcolm X and trying to make them cool for now. Like, no, they are respectful in their own right. Don't need no doctrine, don't need no added nothing. So let's not go left when it comes to our celebrations, and let's not do those type of things, and that's why I say we still need to, find a way that we can celebrate this holiday and everyone be safe and celebrating. Let's not go out and pop guns. Let's not do that. If you got to pop some, pop a fan. Okay, let's let's not do the guns. Grab a fan if you need to, pop it. But yes, we absolutely have to make sure that what we're doing is safe and is honorable and is respectful of our past. And it would be nice to see us get a parade together. Good morning, Special Brew. Good morning. How are you this morning? It would be nice to see us get a parade together in different states, where we honor people like Maya Angelou and honor people of different generations and different genres, where we have jazz musicians, where we have people like B.B. King, and then we celebrate people like Mahalia Jackson. We celebrate people from different things, that are not necessarily the more common known or more known to the younger people. Because a lot of people don't realize, a lot of our younger people don't realize that the music they're listening to comes from people like Sarah Vaughan and Billie Holiday and things like that. They don't realize that, or Nina Simone, they don't realize the inspiration and the impact that people like that had on the music today. Most of this music now is sampled. So they're either pulling it from the OJs, the Temptations, the Shy Lights. They're pulling music that these same beats that they listening to, popping, twerking, shaking, dropping, stopping to, is music that we were stepping to and grooving to back then. And so if they can enjoy the music now, we should educate them on where that music came from. Because in order for them to be able to listen to that music now, it had to come from somewhere. Because them beats ain't original. Them beats are not original, okay? I promise you, if you take the lyrics out and just listen to some of the music that it comes from, most of the music is sampled, sped up with maybe a beat or a drum added to it here and there with some weird sounds, but it's majority sampled. It's sampled from when music had meaning to it. Now, the music we have now, okay, I digress because I just can't. I just can't. Some of the music, more so the rap genre, but it's something about music from like the Miracles and the Dells, the Shylights, the Supremes, that had meaning to it. When Luther or Teddy Pendergrass was talking, they alluded to things. It wasn't so blatantly laid out in front of you like, here it is, take it. It's like, Antoinette says that fan though. Oh, yes, honey. Oh, honey, we have several, okay? Yes. Yes. Yes, honey. We have several. But no, it's the music. Listen, it's something about listening to the music that you can move to, you can groove to. When we had songs that said termites, he alluded to it. He didn't. Good morning, Jeannie. Jeannie says ABC is hosting a Juneteenth celebration Friday night. Okay, that's what's up. Special Bruce says the real music. Absolutely. That music that you just sit and no matter what you're doing, something just start moving. And you just can't understand why you moving. Like you could be doing anything. And all of a sudden you just start moving to the beat because it just starts speaking to you. Next thing you know, you up on the dance floor two-stepping. You two-stepping because that music done got you. And it reeled you in and it done got you. And don't let a good song come on right behind it, honey. Let me tell you. On Pandora, I have a station that's called, I think it's called like Afternoon Barbecue. And when I say I be trying to clean up to it, but every single time I wind up singing and stepping to the music, honey, like they will play some Marvin Gaye and then turn around and play some Shylights and then turn around and play some Diana Ross. Like it's a wrap. It takes me out every time. But that's when we had that good music that we gathered around to. We had those house parties where nobody got hurt. We had house parties where we came together and it was just all in fun. It was all in love. It was about just being around each other. That music created that atmosphere. And so we got to get back to that. Those are the type of parties I would like to see for Juneteenth. When we play some of that good old fashioned music, that good music that just make you want to two-step, that snatches you into the beat, it snatches you into the groove. And everybody's there just to have a good time and out of love and the fellowship of one another with good food. Antoinette says back in the day, those songs had love, peace, and respect. Absolutely. We didn't hear songs where women were called bees and hoes and thoughts and all kind of stuff. You was somebody's lady. You was somebody's woman. You was my girl. We had more respect for the artists, had more respect for their music. They cared about the lyrics that they were putting out. When things were happening and things were going on, they put out music that let us know that somehow it's going to be all right. Or they put out music to let you know what was going on. And Jeannie says, if you play the good music, your kids will learn to love it. Absolutely. My kids will tell you, growing up, old school was what they heard mostly in my house. And after a certain time, you got two choices, jazz or classical music after 8 p.m. in my house. And were your only two options in my house. Before then, you got you some good old, we get up in the morning and on the way to school, we be in the car. Got to give it up. We be in the car jamming in the mornings on the way to school, pumping my kids up. But it was good music though. It was music that allowed them to get pumped up for school without putting vulgarities in their ear. Now our children aren't growing up to music that you can just groove to and listen to. Now you got to make sure you listen to the clean version as opposed to the explicit version. We have to make sure, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all rap is bad, because growing up, I grew up with NWA. And their rap songs had messages in them. Their lyrics had meaning. It wasn't degradation of people or degradation of women. A lot of their songs had meaning. It talked about the things that they were going through in their neighborhoods, that they were actually going through in their neighborhoods, the things that were happening. So I'm not saying that all rap music is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that a lot of the rap now in 2021 and 2020 and 2019, I can't understand a lot of these lyrics. A lot of these lyrics are so illegible and are not even real words. Like they're just saying them because they rhyme with whatever they were saying before. Now, don't get me wrong, they make good workout music because you don't have to really listen to the lyrics. You can listen to it without the lyrics. So when I say there are absolutely some things that you can do. Um, let's see. Antoinette says, James Brown says, I'm black and I'm proud. Marvin Gaye said, what's going on? Conscious songs. Absolutely. Like if you listen to Marvin Gaye's song, what's going on? And he has another song that they're actually talking about. He's actually talking about what's going on right now. He's talking about the things that we are going through and the things that we are dealing with now. When you sit and listen to the soul that they put into these lyrics and into this music, it makes you think, especially Marvin Gaye, like, did he really know the future? Like, did he really? Could you imagine what it would be like if we still had some of these greats? Marvin Gaye, Luther, Teddy, the majority of the OJs. Like, could you imagine what music would be like if we still had a lot of these groups? The original Temptations, like, I mean, oh, but we still have what they left behind. And so for Juneteenth, it would be an amazing celebration to have some of that good old fashioned music flowing from houses and cars and seeing people have good old fashioned fun where nobody was worried about whether or not somebody done brought a gun, somebody gonna pop a gun in the air because they think it's cool. Like, let's not do that for our holiday. Let's honor it right. Let's bring back that good old soul, like Soul Train. Okay, love, peace, and soul. Let's bring some of that back, for Juneteenth, and let's celebrate it right. Jeannie says gospel and contemporary Christian music is the best for children in the car before school. It helps to set their day. I like Kirk Franklin, in the mornings because a lot of his music is made for younger people. And I appreciate the fact that a lot of artists have come up with a way to tailor their music for younger people and younger generations. Because now I grew up on hymns, okay? That old hymn they used to open up church. I grew up with the hymnal, honey. Learning how to play piano at 7. I was a church musician by 16. So I had to learn how to play them songs in that hymn book, okay? So kids don't want to hear them hymns, old rugged cross and up the mountain. But to see that, hey, Frugal Mama, how are you this morning? But to be able to see a lot of these Christian and contemporary artists change their format to now include, because a lot of artists were like, no, this is it. This is strictly. And because of that, a lot of them, when people had children, their children were like, I don't want to hear that. So it kind of fell off a little bit. But now that we see people, incorporating their music to include younger generations is an amazing thing. It is an awesome thing to see. It's an amazing thing to see because I'm part of the student ministry at my church. It's amazing to see children have a desire, not just for coming to church, but to be part of ministries and to have a thirst for God and to get to know God and want to live their life the right way and to live their life in a manner that is kind to everyone, loving to people, compassionate towards others. It is really wonderful to see. And I would love if sometimes we have to look at people that our children call role models. A lot of this music that we have out now, it's not, you look at in the past, I would say 2 years, I have seen and heard on the news so many of these young artists either going to jail or they're dying because either they've been murdered or for their music or, like, when music gets to a point that music creates violence, um, that's a problem. That's that's a problem. And I know we say that music imitates life, but not always. Not a lot of some of the stuff that these people are rapping about, they've never experienced a day in their life. Um, these more experienced rappers are college educated, although they may portray themselves not to be. Please don't let it fool you. But these moguls like Jay-Z and Diddy, they're college educated. These are college educated men. So they know about business. But these younger children and these younger generations that are growing up are not business savvy, they're not business minded. So when they get deals, the first thing they do out is go buy guns and buy cars and brandishing these guns on social media. So then our kids are thinking that that's cool and it's cute. And then we've got to change that narrative and change that cycle. We've got to change it. So if we can, wherever you are, if you're able to safely social distancing, possibly with masks, because we're still not completely on the other side of this pandemic. We still have to remember that. Like, I know we all excited about being able to celebrate, be together, do things, but we still have to keep in the back of our mind that we are still in the midst of a pandemic. So please, whatever you do, however you celebrate Juneteenth, please make sure that you are safe. Make sure that you are social distancing. Not everybody has been vaccinated. So please keep that in mind when you are congregating, when you are celebrating, um, because we don't want to go backwards. We absolutely don't want to go backwards in this pandemic. And we're making sure that, if everybody does their part, we can make sure that these numbers stay leveled out and start to, keep declining as cities open and as states open and as, different places open. Um, but it would be nice to see good old fashioned just love and soul and peace for Juneteenth and being able to celebrate it with good music, good food, good friends, just being able to be outside, whether it be a good barbecue, with your OJs playing or your shy lights playing in the background, or even some good old house music. Okay. Speaking of house music, if you have not, Teresa Griffin will be at the City Winery Friday and Saturday, the 18th and the 19th. She has two shows at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. I'm not sure which ones are sold out, but check it out. If they still have tickets, please make sure you get yours, because if you're going to be in Chicago, the 18th and the 19th, because it is a show that I promise you are not going to want to miss, because Teresa Griffin is awesome. She is amazing. And I promise it's going to be a good time. Um, but absolutely, make sure that you are promoting love and light wherever you go. Make sure that this is something that we can continue for years to come. I don't want this to turn into one of those times where we see celebrations and then the next day on the news, we start hearing about deadly numbers. Like, let's not make it that, because it's ironic that there's a Martin Luther King Jr., either drive, boulevard, street, in every state, city. But surprisingly, it is the most violent street. Like, I never understood, how is it that a man who was so peaceful would have a street named after him and it be the most violent street? Like, can we change that narrative? Can we please change that narrative? Like, I will never understand that. Here we have a Emmett Till Boulevard. We have a Mamie Till Boulevard. We have some streets named after some great people. But just make sure that this does not turn into, if you can help it, and the people that you know and the people that you're going to be around, please make sure that this is not one of those days that we celebrate and the next day we see on the news around the city or around the world about how violence was up. you know, let's not do that. Okay? Let's have some good time. Let's have some good food, barbecue, fry some chicken, like Put the whole, just lay the whole buffet out, okay? I'm talking, you got to have the greens, you got to have the peach cobbler. You know, you always have that one aunt that makes the peach cobbler that be just amazing. Make sure she makes the peach cobbler, okay? Make sure you have your macaroni, your 5 cheese baked macaroni. Like, I know my mama watching, so make sure that you have that macaroni. I'm gonna need that from you, mom. FYI, okay? Dad, let her know that I'm gonna need her to make that, okay? Um, just thought I throw that plug in there. Make sure y'all have them greens going, like everything. You want to make sure that you have that full spread. Make sure you have them speakers blasting with that music. Because I promise you, I might not barbecue, but I promise you, I'm going to have my music blasting all day out the windows. People are going to hear some good old fashioned music coming out of my house on Juneteenth, okay? I don't know if I'm going to have my flag yet or not, but however you celebrate it, just whatever you do, have fun, be safe, have an amazing time. Also, we want to make sure NEILA knows we love her today, that we celebrate her today. I'm hoping that she's not working as hard today, seeing as how it's her birthday, you know. Hopefully she just got a smidge of a break, maybe like maybe an extra 2 hours of sleep instead of just a regular two. Because when I say she be working hard, y'all, she be working hard. She be working hard, y'all. But I'm hoping that today she's able to take some time out to celebrate herself. Just take some time for herself today, and enjoy the weather outside because it is really nice outside. And I'm hoping that we will have. mm, I'm hoping that we will have an amazing weather for Juneteenth. It's supposed to be hot here in Chicago. I don't know where everyone is, but I'm hoping that it's a nice enough day where we don't have to be like worried about umbrellas from the heat. But if it is hot, please make sure that you hydrate. Please make sure you hydrate because I know with everyone having celebrations and everyone being outside, it is important that you stay hydrated. So if you have to take coolers of water, please carry a water bottle, have you a cool rag to wipe your face or wipe your neck with, but make sure that you are warm. Make sure you have your sunscreen. Make sure you have your hats if you're going to be outside. Because in this heat can cause you to be sick. It can cause you to be tired. It can dehydrate you. So please make sure that you are celebrating safely and everything. Oh, my daddy said the pool is open. I know where I might be sitting in the pool side, okay? I am on my way, okay? I promise you, me and the kids will be there for pool time. Yes. It's too hot to be sitting outside and not be sitting in water now. So look, that's another idea. If you got a pool, pull it out. Turn it into a pool party. Look, get you one of them slip and slides, nail that puppy down in the grass. Look, or if you ain't got no slip and slide, take them real big contractor bags, slide them down the side, make you a real big slip and slide. I'm just saying, FYI, it's some DIY idea. I'm just saying, some quick, some cheap, because I know them slip and slides can cost. So yeah, slap your water hose on it, get your sprinkler going. You got your slip and slide. Just an idea. I'm just saying because adult slip and slide and adult party or water parties are an amazing thing. So just a FYI, maybe a possible idea for Juneteenth to do if it's real hot in your area or real hot in your neighborhood. Like that's something to do too. So, but yes, make sure that whatever you're doing, you have fun, you celebrate, you eat good, you get your dance on, and most of all, make sure that you spread your light, love, and your positivity wherever you are going, because that is also important. And as always, I ask that everyone do one random act of kindness. Just whether it be simple smile, whether it be a wave to someone you don't know, someone passing by, allow somebody in, Jeannie says on Friday, let's have some summer adult beverage suggestions. I got you. We can absolutely might have to make some drinks. Oh, yes, we might have to make some drinks so that way we can prepare ourselves. Come on now. That way we can prepare ourselves for Saturday. Get us some adult lemonade going. Come on now. Yes. But make sure that whatever you do, you allow that light and that love that's inside of you to ooze out and spill upon someone else, that it may start with the people in your home. So that way, when you all go out, that light and that love inside of all of you all will spill out and ooze upon someone else, and it just may make their day. I ask that you, and as always, I leave you. Jeannie says, I had a pear teeny last weekend. Okay. The peach teeny is amazing too. And as always, I leave you all with a positive affirmation as always. And today, our positive affirmation is, I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. So, as always, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, give us those thumbs up, those hearts. We greatly appreciate you all. And as always, I appreciate you all so much for coming in today and joining in on the conversation. And as always, in case nobody told you today, you are loved and you are important. And I love you, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. So I will see you all first thing tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for another talk. I love you all, and I'll see you at 8